everyone. Welcome back to my channel, to all my returning YouTube family and friends. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Teresa, and I'm really glad that you guys decided to join me today, because today I am going to be doing a plan with me in my Target Dollar Spot planner. So let's go ahead and get started. And this is going to be for the week of June 19th through the 25th. And go ahead and pull these out. Alright, so I just want to say happy Father's Day to any dads out there that may be listening or watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your pampering day. This is all about you. Hope you get to relax and have fun. And for all you single moms out there that are doing the job of mom and dad, happy mom day to you too, because you know, if it wasn't for you, those kids wouldn't have the things that they do. So thank you for all you single moms that are out there working hard and supporting those babies. So anyway, I just finished up my Carpe Diem plan with me, and now I'm going to do, and I'm going to sneeze. Oh, goodness sakes. Excuse me, guys. I am going to start working on my Target Dollar Spot planner. And I have already pre-cut my paper for today. And today I'm going to go pretty colorful. I've decided to do this camera theme. And then the horizontal lines. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay these down. This paper came out of this 6x6 pad. It is from American Crafts, and it is called Sunny. And I just loved those cameras, guys, and it's a beautiful book. It's got a lot of fun colors, so I'm probably going to be using that a lot this summer because I've already used it a lot. I think this is like my second spread that I used it, at least my second. Let's see, didn't do that one, but I did the following week. Yeah, I actually did, I did another one with this paper as well. So yeah, this is my second week with this out of that book, and I just love it, guys. And like I said, I have pre-cut my paper, and I'm just gonna lay down here how I'm gonna be placing it. And then the washi that I chose, I will show you here. Oh, that's a little bit bigger, and I didn't, oh no, there we go. There we got it. I'll show you the washi that I have chosen to use here in just a second, guys. And I'm not sure if I'm actually going to stick with it or if I may veer off the beaten path here a little bit, but I did bring down some extra washi from my drawers that I'm putting together. So I've got this camera washi, and this came from a 2-pack from Michael's. And then I also have this kind of like a zigzag pattern from the Dollar Tree, I believe is where this came from. Yeah, I think this came from the Dollar Tree. But anyway, those are the two that I have picked out so far. I may choose to go a different route. I may not. but I guess we'll just kind of see where we go here with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay my paper down. And let me grab a piece of paper because I don't want to get this all over because this can be quite messy. My Zig pen, and I'm going to be using my Zig pen today. Just because I used it in my Carpe Diem, so I'm just going to continue to use it. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but I actually got this from Amazon.com. And I think you can get these like at Michael's. But it's a really nice pen, glue pen, and I heard about it from Tanya, from Home with Tanya, and if she recommends something, I pretty much get it because she has the experience and knowledge of these things, and I am just learning. So I take my cues from people that actually know what they're doing. And I think this may be running out, but that's okay because I do have a second one available. Okay, and this dries pretty quick, so I want to get it at least laid down before it dries. There. It sounds like it has plenty of ink. Oh geez, I just got it all over. So what is everybody's plans for Father's Day? We are not doing too much. John, actually the girls came over and I explained this in the Plan With Me in my Carpe Diem. The girls, both Kristen and Michaela, had to work today. So we ended up doing a kind of impromptu little Father's Day get-together last night. Everybody came over. We cooked on the grill. The only two that were missing was TJ. He was with his dad. And my mom, she's in Chicago with our cousin. Our cousin does karaoke, and she is actually in a karaoke tournament or whatever. I don't know what they call them. And it was the semifinals last night. So I'll find out when Mom gets home how she did, but she's pretty good. She usually does really well in these contests. So I'm looking forward to, I'm sure she'll be in the finals, but you never know because there's always people that are better. So that's where my mom is, and we are babysitting her dog Winston whenever she goes out of town or on vacation. We get little Winston, and he's fun to have around. He's actually he's a Bella and Harley's puppies. Bella and Harley had a litter. Not planned by us, but yeah, they we ended up with 10 puppies, and Winston was one of them. And my mom, I'm glad that my stepdad insisted on taking one of the puppies because, you know, since it was shortly after my brother had passed away, and you know, I think my stepdad was looking for some kind of companionship, you know, because my mom worked and Mark was home alone, and my brother he actually homeschooled my brother, so he was just so used to having Eric around, and you know, they were always together, Mark and Eric, and so that left Mark pretty lonely, and he came over one day and he said, "Don't tell your mom, but I'm taking one of the puppies," and he picked out Winston. And he's a cute little guy. He looks almost like a border collie, which I don't get, but that's what he looks like. And Harley's a Pomeranian, a full-size Pomeranian. He's not a miniature or teacup. And Bella's just a mutt. She's I don't even know what she is, to be honest. You guys have seen her. She's just a cute little dog, and we actually rescued her. One of Kristen's friends, she was theirs. She was just still a puppy. She was like not even 6 months old, because she came into heat for the first time here with us, and so she was, you know, less than a year old, but they were just gonna take her out and drop her off in the country. And my daughter is just like her father and said, "No, let me take her." Well, you know, and I said, "Okay, we'll take her to the vet's office and, you know, see if, you know, they'll take her and they'll find her a home," because, you know, I didn't want another dog, and Kristen was pregnant with TJ, and, you know, I mean, there was a lot going on here. And, you know, I didn't need another dog, another thing to take care of. And so Kristen took her to the vet's office here in town, and they said, "Well, yeah, we can find a home for her, but you know, she'll have to stay with you until we do." And it's like, seriously, you don't house the dog? And they said, "No, they don't house the dogs. They just post to them, and then, you know, whoever is interested will contact us," and blah, blah, blah. Well, this happened to be on a Friday, and by Sunday, you know, we had all fallen in love with this dog, and there was no way we were giving her back, you know, or giving her to somebody else at this point. You know, we'd all fallen in love with her, and I think they do that on purpose. And so we've had her ever since, and she actually, like I said, she had her first heat when she came here, and she had a litter of puppies from it. And her and Kristen were mommies together. Both young mommies together. So anyway, when that happened, my stepdad decided, you know, he needed a dog or something to keep him company, some kind of companion. And so he came over one afternoon and he said, "Don't tell your mom, but I'm taking this dog." You know, like when they were old enough, they were 8 weeks old. And I said, "Okay, but you're gonna get in trouble, and you better not, you know, blame me. I'm not taking any part of this." So of course, what does my mom do? Well, first thing she does when Mark gets home with the dog is calls me. "Why did you let him take that dog? Blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Mom, I can't tell him yes or no. You know, I mean, he's a grown man. He's going to do whatever he wants to do." And he decided he wanted the dog. And she's like, "Well, you know, I'm going to be the one that ends up taking care of him." And I said, "Well, I know." And I said, "But, you know, it might be a good thing, Mom, that, you know, it give you guys something other to think about than Eric being gone." And, you know, I mean, it hadn't even been a year at that point. And, so yeah, that's how they got Winston. And they actually, she's like, "Well, what am I supposed to name this thing?" And I said, "I don't know, name him whatever you want. It's your dog." And we called him Moo Cow because he was our biggest dog out of the whole litter. It was Winston. And we called him Moo Cow because he looked like a little cow. He was black and white and a little fat, sassy little thing. And she says, well, what do you call him? I said, well, we call him Moo Cow, or Moo, you know. And she's like, well, I'm not going to call him that. So a couple hours later, she called me back and she says, we're going to name him Winston after your brother. Because my brother's name was Eric Winston. And so that's how he ended up with being Winston. And he is a sissy's boy when he's around me. And it's like when he's here, he just wants me. I mean, he'll go to John, but not, you know, very willingly. He hangs out with Sis. And then it's funny because, like, when my mom and I are together, it's like he doesn't know who he should go to, me or Mom. I mean, he gravitates more towards her, but, you know, when she just gets back from vacation or something, he doesn't know, like, do I go with you, or do I go with you, or who do I go to? But it's funny because by the time the weekend is over, like, because this time we're just having him till today. Gosh, he is so ready to go home. He'll just, when he hears her, he runs to the door, and he's like, and then he's just like, the whole time she'll be in here talking to us, he's like back and forth, like between her and the breezeway door, like, come on, Mom, come on, let's go, let's get out of here. Because he, you know, he's very active when he's here, and he's not used to that at home. You know, they have Mom sold their house when, it's been probably it's been 3 years now since she sold the house, and so they were living in an apartment, and they moved, and they moved in November. They had to be out of the house the day after Thanksgiving, and my stepdad passed away in January. Is when Mark died. So it's been pretty rough for my mom, so I'm glad she has him, you know, to be with, and it just makes me feel better to know that somebody is there with her, even if it is a dog. And my mom's diabetic. She's healthy other than that, her diabetes, and she does wear an insulin pump, but it just makes me feel better to know that, you know, Winston is there, that, you know, she's not completely alone. And she does have Sunny, the cat, their cat. And he was one that Eric picked. And Eric, my brother, was always good at, because Mom would always say no to any type of animal. No, we don't need a dog. We don't need a cat. Well, Eric and Mark would just show up with them. And at that point, Mom couldn't tell him no, you know. What are you supposed to do? You've already said your piece, and they bring this thing home anyway. So, it was always comical, because that's how you did it with my mom. You just, because otherwise you'd never have anything. She'd always, no, we don't need it. And end of discussion. Like, I never was allowed to have pets when I was a kid. Well, I take that back. I had a cat. I had one cat. And it was a Siamese cat. And he was a purebred Siamese cat. And his name was Felix. I named him Felix after Felix the cat, you know. And he was so mean. He hated me. But yeah, he wouldn't sleep with anybody else. I was the only person he would sleep with. And like, I had a waterbed, and I had one it had a bookcase on the, which was the headboard. And I had the ceramic lamp that my aunt had made for me in ceramics class. And I kid you not, every morning at 6 a.m., I don't care where that lamp was on the top of that bed, that cat would knock it on my head every stinking morning. And it never broke. I don't know how it didn't break because I have a hard head. And he would knock that thing down, and that's how he woke me up for his, okay, I've been in here all night. I have to go to the bathroom. Let me out now. And that's, And then if I would have friends spend the night, he always, because I had a full-size waterbed, so it was, big enough for 2 people. And if I would have a friend spend the night, he still had to sleep in the room, but they would sleep in his spot. He would attack them every time they moved. Like when they were sleeping, he would attack them. He was awful. He was so mean. My friends used to hate. They're like, can we not let him in? And I'm like, well, we can try, but all he's going to do if we don't is sit at the door and scream all night long. And you know how Siamese cats, that meow, meow, that's what he would do. It was awful. He was a pain in the bahootie. And every night, like, we would, like at night when I would go put my nightgown on, I remember when I was younger, I would wear, like, in the winter, I'd wear, like, those long flannel nightgowns. My mom always bought me the long flannel nightgowns. And so I would put my nightgown on, and we had a really long hallway, and my bedroom was at the very end of the hall. So I would walk out of... Sorry, guys, I'm trying to figure out how to peel this. I would walk down the hallway to... After I had put my nightgown on, and the hallway kind of like teed like this. So like I would walk, you'd walk down, this was the middle, and then the hallway went this way. There was a wall and a wall. And this way was the front door, and this way was the dining room. So I would be walking down, and I knew what was going to happen every time, but I just couldn't figure out when or where or how. But he would be sitting on one of these sides of the hallway, and when I would walk past him, he would jump up in my nightgown and bite my thighs. Because he was declawed, so he couldn't, like, well, he had his front was declawed. So he couldn't, like, scratch me, so he would jump up and bite my legs. And it was awful. He was absolutely horrid. I still have a scar on my leg from where he bit me. And... oh, him and I had quite the love-hate relationship, let me tell you. Because he was just so mean to me. And I'll never forget, like, when my mom found out she was pregnant with Eric, I'm like, you have to get rid of that cat, because he is just going to terrorize that baby. And I was like 14 when my mom got pregnant with my brother. And she was like, well... we're not going to get rid of Felix. He'll just have to get used to the baby. Blah, blah, blah. And that cat loved my brother like there was no stinking tomorrow. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like a grown person almost. And he hates me with a passion. But yet won't leave me alone, And then my brother comes along and he like adores him. Like anytime you had to shoo him out of Eric's room because he wanted to be right next to Eric all the time. And like it wasn't because of the milk or anything, because he would never like lay up by his face. He would always lay down by Eric's feet. So I don't know what. But that cat was horrible, you guys. He was awful. Oh. I just still can remember the torture of being attacked by him. I used to hate to walk down the end of the hallway because I knew what was going to happen and there was no way to avoid it. And like, it wasn't like you could just be like, okay, you know, here it comes, because you never knew where or when or how it was coming. It was just going to come. And so you couldn't prepare yourself, you know. It was awful. God. And my mom still, she laughs to this day about it. And she'll, I don't know what you did to him to make him not like, or to make him dislike you so much. I did nothing to that cat. I babied him. And yet I was the most hated oh, goodness. So we did have that pet. But then my brother always had pets. Because my mom just wouldn't tell him no. Because he just wouldn't take no for an answer. He would just, you know. He just wouldn't stop until, I like that, guys. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Yay. Okay, so now let me find, I do need to maybe do... How would this one look? Let's take a look. It's got the same colors, but it just, the pattern's a little funky. And if you guys want to know, this nail polish is the Pure Ice, and I love this color. I hauled it in my last Dollar Tree haul. How does that look? Maybe if I kind of did. Should have used, I probably should have put the camera washi this way. And the zigzag. Well, I'm not going to take it apart. If I don't like it, I can do it later. Okay, so we're going to put, so do you guys have any pet stories, horror pet stories like that? Gosh. Yeah, so that was my, I mean, she never even let me have, well, I had guinea pigs like when I was little, or hamsters. I wasn't allowed to have a guinea pig because they were too big, but I could have a hamster. And you know, hamsters never live. That's probably why she let me have a hamster. Because they didn't have long lifespans. But man, my brother had every stupid animal you could imagine. He had pet rabbits. He had Let's see, a turtle. He had dogs, multiple dogs. He had multiple dogs. And it's like, wow, I never. He had mice. She let him have mice. Yes, mice, people. She let him have mice. And her reasoning was because when the mice would have babies, they sold them to the pet store for 10 cents a piece. So the mice were working for their keep, in other words. My mom is so ridiculous. But what my brother and my stepdad used to do is, like, because my mom always worked and my stepdad didn't work. So they would go, like, buy these animals or adopt them or whatever when my mom was at work, and she'd come home and there they'd be. And what could she do at that point? It wasn't like she could say take them back. Well, I guess she could have, but Eric would have never. Oh my gosh. She would have. No, he wouldn't have. But you know, now it's like I look back at all the things he had. Like when he was 11, he had his own car. You know, I had to buy my own car. And I was like 17 when I bought my first car. But his grandma and grandpa had a farm, and he kept his car on the farm. And that's how he learned to drive. And but he was 11 years old and had a car, you know, and so when he died at 20, it was like, I look back and I'm so glad he had those things, because he truly did experience a full life by the age of 20. You know, the only thing that he didn't experience was real true love and a relationship and heartache, which thank God he didn't have to experience that. But yet at the same time, it's sad that he never did experience a relationship or what love was like. And you know, that makes me sad that he didn't have that. But I don't know. My brother was obese, like he was from the time he was 5 years old until he died, and that's partially what killed him, was his weight. And you know, I said that he died from hypertension, and that on his death certificate it says cause of death hypertension due to morbid obesity. And at the time of his death, he weighed almost 600 pounds. But that was because, a lot of it was because he was on a medication that kept him in a coma, a medically induced coma, and it gave him like it was just some astronomical, it was the same anesthetic that Michael Jackson died from is what Eric was on. And the calories were like over 3,000 calories a day. So like here he was laying in a hospital bed dying, and yet he's gaining weight daily. And I mean, like when he went into the hospital, he was not that big. He only weighed he was still big. He weighed over 500 pounds, and he was in the hospital for 3 weeks on the medication. So it was just crazy to me that, you know, here we're trying to save his life, and you know, you people, you You know, you can't figure out what's wrong with him because you don't have a machine that's big enough to put him in, and yet you're making him bigger, you know, and talking about like when he wakes up and when he recovers that, you know, he needs to make different life changes and he needs to have bariatric surgery and blah blah blah, and you know it's going to be a long road of recovery, and but yet you're not helping the matter. I mean, I understand they did what they had to do, was for the benefit of Eric, and I appreciate that, and he had amazing medical care, and it wasn't their fault. But my brother was overweight, not due to the fact that he overate. It was, he was overweight for medical reasons, and it was something that he had faced and was ready to get help for. And you know, the day before they took him into the hospital, to the doctors, he said to my mom, I hope it's not too late. And my mom said, it's never too late, Eric. And it was too late. So anyway, so yeah, that is life, guys, and it's not fair, and it's not, it's just not fair. So anyway, that's why my stepdad wanted Winston. That's what we were talking about, so we'll get back on that subject. And I'm glad they did, because now my mom has him, and you know, they're just, I mean, they go everywhere together. If, you know, mom, they walk, you know, a mile a day, and it's just, he gives her a lot of company, and it's nice. And he just adores my mom. So I'm putting a second one down here, guys, because it's hard to see, but I just wanted to break that up for Sunday and between Saturday and Sunday. So where's a pen? We'll write in here. 6/19, 6/20, 6/20. I cannot believe it's already almost July. 6/22, 6/23, 6/24, and 6/25. That's just crazy to me that it's almost July, you guys. Where did June go? Like, seriously. And then it's August, and Michaela gets married in August. And oh my goodness, you guys. What is a mom to do? What to do? So any moms out there that have had children get married, what is some advice for me? As far as like the day of the wedding, and I mean, you guys know what a crybaby I am, for goodness sakes. I can tell you right now, I'm going to be an emotional basket case for pretty much probably the whole day. And I don't want to be for her, you know, I don't want to be like, but she knows how I am. But she's still, like, one day last week I was upset about something and I started crying. She texted John and she's like, how do you deal with her? It's like, Michaela Leanne, you are awful to your mother. Be nice, you little turd. And he's like, why? And she's like, because she's over here crying about something. And I can't even remember what it was. And it was stupid what I was crying about. But here's the thing, guys. I had to stop taking my medication for 2 weeks prior to my, I had to stop taking my antidepressant 2 weeks prior to my sleep study because it somehow could screw up the sleep study. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. And so, yeah, she's like, how do you deal with her? And John's like, I just deal with her. And Michaela, and he's like, why? And she's like, because she's over here crying because, oh, I didn't buy some paint for her wedding invitations, and I just felt so bad. So I was crying, and she's like, Mom, it's not that bad. And I'm like, yes, it is. I let you down. Blah, blah. Yeah, so I just, whatever. Oh, you guys. So yeah, she was quite, and I don't want to put that pressure on her wedding day, but I know how I am, and I know that I am just gonna be a bumbling dummy. And I don't want to be like that with her, in front of her, but how do you avoid it? I don't know, guys. I need some advice. I need some mom-to-mom advice on what to do and how to handle it. Because I don't want her to be upset with me, and yet I don't, you know what I mean? But like I said, she does know how I am, and she knows that I am very emotional, and especially when it comes to my kids. My gosh, I'm like ridiculous when it comes to them as far as being I can be quite a baby. But they're my babies, so, you know, I'm allowed to be a baby. Gosh darn it. If I want to be a baby, I'm going to be a baby. Okay. You can't really see that under. There's... We're going to put garbage day. Doctor day. Yeah, so any advice, guys, would be awesome. I would love to hear what you guys do when when you're faced with these car payment here. Phone, 22nd. So yeah, what's some of your suggestions or anything would be helpful. No, I think I'm gonna use this darker one. Sorry guys, I'm just really, because like I said, this is my bill planner, so I want to be able to make sure, and I'm gonna put other things besides bills, you know, but and I'm going to use this enjoy it. I put the little banner, but for the weekend. It's just a little blank banner on a little freebie that I got from one of the Etsy shops that I order from. And then I'm just gonna put this, enjoy it here, just to kind of highlight that as a weekend. And then I'm gonna put this Dream It Planet here for a plan with me. And then we're gonna put a little star underneath. And I've got my Happy Mail there. We've got a car payment, phone payment, garbage, payday, doctor's appointment. What was, okay. And right now, that's all I can think of, guys. As far as there's no birthdays, no holidays, so I think that is it for my Target Dollar Spot Planner. And if I remember things, I will add them as I go. So let's put this back in here. Oh geez, look at that. I never did fill those dates out. That is awful. I gotta do that when I get done. Okay, so guys, that is it for my Target Dollar Spot Planner for this week, the week of June 19th through the 25th. And I hope you guys enjoyed this plan with me. And I was a little chit-chatty. So you learned a little bit about me growing up and things that happened in my life, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a great big thumbs up, guys. And if you are new to my channel and you want to see more of my videos, click that red subscribe that's down below and click the little bell that's just above that subscribe, and you'll get sent notifications every time I upload a new video. And until the next one, guys, which will be my happy planner, either today or tomorrow. I'm gonna go out and work on Michaela's shelves. But until the next time, guys, I will see you soon. Have a great day and have a wonderful Father's Day if there are any fathers out there listening. And until the next time, guys, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.